I'm fully fired up. Let's make it happen.
Welcome back to the Fired Up podcast, where we help you get your together so you can make it happen. We're all about starting, growing and scaling. Do yourself a favor. Follow our socials and subscribe to our channels so you don't miss an update. Let's get pumped up for this episode. Love it. So I think that's some good advice there. It's definitely raised for me personally, that it might be time to start exploring.
Well, it's accountants shaking the industry.
Yeah.
We did with our coach that we had many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who our coach was. And, you know, he helped us and all the clients he looked after shake up the industry.
Yeah. It just seems to be, I mean, it's a topic across, I guess, every industry is the cost of prices. Prices going up, price going up. And I was talking to a father down at this school the other day on pickup, and he's, again, everyone's kind of chewing on my ear, and he goes, hey, what do you pay for your accountant and this and that and the other thing? And he said, so I was paying $330 a quarter for the BAS. He goes, just got a bill for $890. No explanation. The invoice item's the same, BAS preparation, whatever, $890. He's like, I'm going back to them going, what's happened here? Mm-hmm. He goes, I haven't got a response yet, but look, everything's gone up. Is that just part of it? And I said, well, I think everything has gone up, but you've got options, and you should certainly have a level of service that explains what they're doing and why this has happened. Yeah,
and that leads me to this point where I always say to clients that surprises should come from Santa Claus every year, not from your accountant, right? Now, accountants are not there to surprise you with a tax bill. Mm-hmm. You should know what it is that's coming, yeah? Accountants should not surprise you with their fees, because they should be quoted up front and agreed between the two parties. One thing that I despise is fee discussions or fee arguments with clients. Yeah. And in all honesty, I don't have any.
Yeah, because they know.
They know. Yeah. We might have some negotiation at the very beginning when we're trying to settle on the fee, but we do not have any fee arguments once the agreement's signed, because that agreement means that we've set the price, you've understood it, you've signed it, you've agreed to it, and you're paying it. And every accountant should be like that.
Right. Cool.
Santa Claus brings you a surprise, or your parents give you one for your birthday every year, and that's about it.
No more than that. Awesome. Great advice. I think, some people will take away from that and go, cool, maybe it's time to go and explore and have those conversations. I just want to move to another part now around, I guess people in small business and everything, and with what's going on with costs and wages and everything else, people are looking internally and evaluating my pricing, they're evaluating things, they're probably seeing revenue go up, but margins might have come down. As a business owner, you need to be responsible to understanding your own numbers and metrics. Mm-hmm. What would you say are the key things that a business owner needs to be looking at as it relates to the numbers inside their organisation, regardless of what they're doing with their accountant?
Yeah. That's my favourite part of the job, right? So when we take on a new client, like we're actually negotiating with one yesterday, Tuesday, he came in, and this guy's got an accountant, and he's reasonable sort of guy. I know who he is. I don't know him personally. I know who he is, but all he does is send him stuff to sign, send to sign, no discussions. You ring up, you leave a message, you get a call back in a week if you're lucky. We send an email, you get a response in a week and a half if you're even luckier. So he's a bit over that, but he needs to grow the business, and there's a lot of family members involved. So what we need to do there is analyse exactly where his business is at. Now, I said to him, what are your margins? Oh, yeah, look, it varies. But I said, well, what's the percentage? Have you got an average margin? Don't really know. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's point number one that we need to work on. Know your margin. There's a session that I run, which is a workshop that I run for 2 days, or I could do it as a teaser, as a webinar. It's called Know Your Numbers, Grow Your Business. Because if you don't know your numbers, you can't grow your business, right? It's logical.
Simple.
Right?
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
So the minimum that you need to know is what is the impact if you increase your prices and I use the power of one, all right? So I show them with their own numbers, what's the impact if I change your prices by 1%, yeah? Now, if you're selling something for $100 and you sell it for 101, your customers aren't going to really notice. But what's the impact of that one power of one? 1% increase on sales, 1% increase on your margin, which really results in negotiating with your suppliers to get a 1% decrease in price. That might mean that you need to pay them a little bit quicker, or you need to pay them on time to get that reduced price, or you need to buy more from them. But if you're going to buy more, you need to sell more. Okay. Then it's your overheads. Make sure your overheads are right. So these are the minimum things that you should be looking at. Yeah. And then you got your employees. If you got your employees, average turnover per employee, if you could increase that by 1%, and then we look at what is the net impact on your business after doing all of that.
Yeah.
And that can be done on a monthly, we do it on a quarterly basis. Monthly's a bit soon. Monthly is a bit like watching the stock market every single day on investments that you're going to hold forever. Yeah, you're not going to watch it every single day of the week, yeah? So you don't want to look at that every single day of the week. But if you can set strategies to get the power of one in your business, you see what that does, you'll be amazed at what the power of 2, 3, 5, 10 could do as well.
Because especially in the last 18 months, costs have gone up, right? So, and then people have maybe been slow to establish the cost savings or the revenue increase. So they've seen this margin has come down quite significantly. Would you be saying that when you look at costs, if overall your cost in your business, your insurance, rent, all the other communications, everything, if that's gone up 20%, is the first thing to be thinking about is how do you increase your revenue 20% to neutral that out?
Yeah. Well, prices are like, I know for our business, we sell time.
Yeah.
And coming from Melbourne, lockdowns, all that during COVID, we were very respectful of that with our clients, and we tried to hold our prices as steady as we possibly could. We got assistance from our landlords, so our rent was reduced or stabilised, so we didn't have to increase our prices, right? Yeah. Now, after that, though, everything started skyrocketing. Inflation just went out of control. But the interesting thing was that when we looked at that, what our increases were, and our increases in wages, because that goes up every year, regardless of whatever else is going on, a good explanation to our clients saying that we've held our prices steady, but we're now forced to increase our prices due to this and that, they understand. Now, our clients can do the same, and we encourage them to do the same. It's all about communicating and how you communicate it.
Yeah.
And if you communicate things properly, you'll have no problems in getting price increases.
Got it.
If it's just to line your pocket because you want to buy a new car, then that's a different story.
Yeah. Is there a basic framework that you could recommend to people where is it a 15% net profit that you should be aiming for? Is it 10? Is your operational cost 30% of revenue? Is there a basic blueprint that people should work towards?
In retail, I like to think 20% is good for wages. 22%, to be exact, is a really good number for wages to sales. So when you're considering that, rent can be anything, right? You could be in a big shopping centre and paying shopping centre rents, which is exorbitant. Yeah. Or you could be paying retail shopfront rents. So 5% is probably a good number, but it can be a lot higher. Yeah. So I'm not going to be held to account on that number. But profit, I think that if you're not getting a 20% return in your investment in the business, why have you gone into the business?
Yeah. So 20% gross,
20% net profit.
Net profit.
Net profit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because even if you start there, right? For any business, you go, cool, the 20% net profit, and we can work it back from that, right? So what does that number look like, and is what is left, the 80%, enough to operate the business end to end, to leave that in the back?
So then you've got to look at how can you achieve that? Yeah. And quite often, the only way you're going to achieve that is to increase the amount that you sell. So it's getting new customers in. So what do we need to do? Where do our customers hang out? We've got to go and hang out where our customers hang out, and we need to attract them into our business. Yeah. Make us the number one in that field. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're I've got a lot of swimming pool retail shops and service businesses, right? That they do extremely well with their marketing, with their service, with their delivery, with their knowledge, with everything. They do extremely well. And I love working with them on the advisory side and on the accounting side, because they are just so knowledgeable about their industry that they become so knowledgeable about their numbers. Yeah. And yes, they're a franchise, so that helps too. So in a franchise, you're given a system, and the best advice I give those people is follow the system. There's another word in there, but I won't use it on the podcast.
But swearing's allowed.
Yeah, follow the fucking system. That's what you paid for, yeah? And you've paid for it for a reason, because you want it to be successful, yeah? And if you follow the system, you will succeed. And the idea is that we get more and more customers in the door. That's how we increase our top line. And if we're making, say, a 70% gross margin, the more we sell at the top line, the more our margin's going to be. Our overheads will remain steady. Yeah, wages might go up a little bit because you might have more people on the road doing servicing.
Sure.
But you're going to make more money than you are paying wages. So your bottom line is going to increase. That's how you increase your profit. Yeah.
Love it.
You can't just go and cut your rent because your landlord's not going to be happy.
No.
You can't cut wages because you won't have any team members to deliver the service, right?
Yeah.
So you're stuck with the top line and the cost of your materials.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned it before, and it is another complete entire episode around AI, but everyone's looking at, well, where's the efficiency? Because there is cost that can be trimmed out based on some of the new tools coming through, which is just going nuts at the moment. So I think overarchingly, it's like the summary of all of that is know your numbers. And if you don't, you need to know that. You need to know that before even talking to an accountant, because people like you, that's going to be the first question. What are you doing? How much are you making? Where are the margins? Where are the costs? Yada, yada, yada. Hey, quick interruption. I assume you're listening to this because you are either starting, growing, or building your empire and you are searching for the freedom formula. I want you to go and check out the Fired Up app. It's in the App Store where you can dive into free course content and look through the course intros for paid content that'll be relevant to the journey that you're at. Don't delay, get fired up, go make it happen, and fast track with this business coach right in your pocket. Now back to the episode. Should you be reviewing as a business your pricing? Is that an annual thing? Is it something you should look at all the time?
Look, it depends on what business you're in. Yeah, we look at our pricing once a year. Yeah, we look and say, well, okay, salaries have gone up 3%. Now, how much do I need to increase my client prices to cover that 3%, plus my rent goes up 4% every year. They're the ones you need to cover. So they're an annual thing.
Yeah.
And if it all happens around the same time, you can do that. If you're in an industry where you're buying or you're importing a lot of goods to sell, well, you're looking at your prices very regularly because the cost of importing is expensive, especially with the state of our dollar at the moment.
Tariffs and everything else.
If you're exporting, then you've pretty much got open slather. You're doing really well because your prices are so cheap to the rest of the world compared to what they are here. Yeah. But I think a regular review of your pricing is important, and it's important to know what it is that you're actually doing with the pricing. Are you increasing it to purely increase your profit down the bottom, or are you increasing it just to cover your costs? But you should be doing both. Right? You've got to increase your profit because that's the whole idea of being in business. That increases the return on your investment. That increases the net value of your business, because the value of any business is based on its profit and its recurring revenue, or its repeat business, or its ongoing business, or wherever its clients are coming from. If you're in a dropship business or something online business, it's all about your online presence and how you ranking, how Google ranking you, where do you sit on the cyberspace.
Yeah.
So that's what you've got to always be considering. There's so many moving parts.
Combination of those things to that produce the valuation of the business is not just the numbers, but it's also
number of factors.
IP, reputation, growth journey, path, all that sort of stuff. Cool. So just before we wrap up, I know you're massively into growth and mentorship, and you're helping other people do that as well. What seems to be the kind of hot topic of discussion at the moment for people that you're talking to? Are they looking for the growth in their business? Are they looking for a growth in themselves? Are they looking for exits? Are they looking to kind of keep up with how quick the market is moving? Because it can be a roller coaster and super noisy. But are you seeing any kind of similarities where most people are trying to get their head around AI, or most people are just trying to keep their business afloat with the challenges that are going on in the market and costs and everything else?
It's all the above.
All the above.
So yesterday I had a 4-hour meeting with a client in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And it's the parents own this business in retail, and the son-in-law and daughter are taken over with another friend. So there's 3 of them taking over from the parents over the next 3 years, right? Now, the younger ones, the buyers, or the new owners, so to speak, who haven't bought in yet, are saying we need to expand the business. And to do that, we need to hire extra capacity. So we need more people on the road to do the work to enable us to grow the business. The wife or the mother says, well, if you go and hire somebody else, you're eating away at the profit that I could be making in my business, right? That's a little bit of a naive response, because if we don't hire that extra person to create that extra capacity, we can't take on the extra work that we want to do to grow our business, to increase our revenue, to increase our gross profit, to increase our net profit, for you to take home more money in your hand.
Yeah.
So that's the argument. So it's how do we get that right balance? At what point do we hire to grow? So it's a whole calculation involved with that. Is like if we go hiring one more person with 40 hours a week to do work, at what point do we need to get that extra person on board, and how many more clients do we need to find in order to fill that person's time? So it's always about hiring excess capacity, and we do that in our business. We've always got more people than we need. So if a new client comes along, I don't have to say no.
Yeah.
I can say, yes, we can take you on. So they're looking at expansion strategies, they're looking at exit strategies, but the exit strategies, I'm finding a lot, is becoming now multi-generational businesses. Yeah, so large clients are wanting to go multi-generational. So the parents started it, they want the kids to take over, then they want the grandkids to take over. And I've actually got one business going at the moment where the grandparents are selling out, but they want the parents and the grandkids to be buying in, because the grandkids are older. Yeah, so they do want to just create that multi-generational aspect to their business straight away and leave that legacy behind. So that's very, very hot topic at the moment. Exit strategies, so people wanting to sell and just get out of their business completely, to retire, can happen. One of my surgeon clients retired on Friday last week at 78. And he had a business that he could sell. He had a couple of businesses that he could sell, and he did that. He hung around for a year to help the other surgeons, up and coming, and now he's in London. He left for London on Tuesday and won't be back till just before Christmas.
Yeah, wow.
So there's some really good success stories at the moment, and I'm really, really excited about what I'm doing with clients, because not just me, in myself, but what my team are doing on the accounting side, the planning side, the growth strategies, and all of those different things that should be delivered to clients to help them get to where they want to be. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Where do you want to be in life? What do you want out of your business?
Yeah.
No use getting out of bed in the morning and, umming and ahhing about, do I go to work, do I not wanting to be there. You've got to get up and you've got to go. Right, you got to have a purpose. So knowing your purpose, which is again another whole topic again.
But it's extremely important.
You've got to have a purpose to get out of bed. Yeah. Mine is to inspire, educate, and coach our community in partnership with them. Our community are our clients. And that's our purpose. We want to get out of bed to help them, to educate them. We want to be inspirational to them, and we want them to be inspirational to their next generation and next leaders as well. It's critical. It's got to happen.
It's not enough to get out of bed and go, I want to make $100,000. I want to make $1 million. There's just no substance.
Or I want to buy a new
BMW. All of that stuff. So interesting. We'll wrap up on this, because the purpose of Fired Up and the purpose of the Fired Up app is to either inspire and help people start their business that they've been thinking about, that they're just not taking the first step. Or secondary to that, it's to help people actually grow their business so they can, because I find a lot of people, especially who are in the start out phase or pretty new, all of a sudden they're doing the 60-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks. And they go, hang on, what have I inherited here? I've got no holiday pay and the super's gone and all that sort of stuff. So give us a bit of parting advice on that. So what would you say to people who are thinking about starting a business? And second part is, what would you say to people who are running a business but are either struggling or things that they should be thinking about to take it to the next level?
Absolutely, very, very critical points there. So when you're starting a business, it's no different to when I go interstate, or even if I'm local, I get in my car, the first thing I do is my Waze app comes up on my screen and I put in where I want to go. So if I've never been before, Waze is going to help me get from point A to point B. Right. So when you're going into business, you're going in at point A. Do you know what your point B is? I hope you do, right? Because if you don't know what your point B is, that's what we need to determine.
You're going to get lost.
You're going to get lost, right? But then we've got to work out how we're going to get there. And that's called a business plan. So that's the very first step. If you can't sit with me or one of my team or with you and do a business plan, then you shouldn't be going into business, right? If you're going in there just because everyone else is going into business, then it's not going to happen. You need to know where you're going, what you're doing. You need to have some values. You need to have a purpose for getting out of bed in the morning. If you're already in business and you're just going through the motions day in, day out, again, you need to sit back and think, well, where do I want to take this business? What do I ultimately want out of it? And if I'm not getting out of it what I feel it should be giving to me, we need to take action. You either close it down, done, move on, go and work for somebody and get a regular salary, or plan where you want to go, put the strategies in place to achieve those goals. Yeah, no use setting goals. Sorry, it's no use having an end goal if there's no strategy to achieve that.
Yeah.
So the strategies to achieve that are where you come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the important part.
Yeah. Get a plan. I mean, the plan is like, where are we going? Now we need to think about how we get there, and then it's at absolute direct and intentional steps and actions to do it, and just execute that.
And somebody to hold you accountable to it. Yeah, with the big stick. Yeah. I love the big stick.
Get up. You've got to do it again. You said you'd call the 10 clients. Call the 10 clients.
Yeah,
you do what you say you're going to do.
Who have you called? What have you said to them?
Yeah.
What was their response? Yeah.
So you said you do have a team that is set for overcapacity. So I'm assuming you have capacity for new clients.
I do.
You do? Great. So we will put some links in this episode where you can, for the business and to their website, so you can reach out.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Look, what you've said is great, and I think it's really important that people should be thinking about this stuff and not making any assumptions. So if what Mark has shared today and you've thought, hang on, well, my accountant doesn't do this, and hey, I'm not getting that, maybe it's time to explore, because you do need that person to hold your hand. You do need the accountability, and linking that up with a business plan and a strategy that you can execute will be the best way to set you up for success.
Absolute gold. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Mark. Great to see you.
Thank you, Ben.
Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks for listening to the episode. Please make sure that you like and share this content with people who need to hear it. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to the channels and following us on socials. Stay tuned for future updates where we bring on more guests and give you more insights so you can be fired up to go and make it happen.